Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you listening on podcast service, this is the first time I've said this. For those of you that are bib, this is the third time I've said this. And this, for anyone that's live on Twitch, you'll have heard this for the second time, but it is the third time I've said this. Long story short, I went live with the mic dead. That might have been it. Don't know why the mic was off. Anyway, long story short, we've just been live. We had issues, and we're starting again. So if you're on the audio podcast, good morning. If you're live on Twitch, good morning. And I'm going to go through all the intro again. But for you guys on the podcast, you get it for the first time, so just sit back and enjoy. My name is Graham Day. This is Bib. Yes, we are wearing matching Ice Cream Upload hats, which you can't tell if you're listening on the audio podcast, but just believe us, we are, and they look beautiful. We are live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham Day. This is Bib. We are Ice Cream, and this is The Scoop, your daily dose of news from the world of video games and beyond. We're going to bring you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. We want your thoughts and impressions in return, because this is the UK's #1 video game podcast, and it's important that you do give us those thoughts and impressions, because we turn this live show into a on-demand podcast that goes out on YouTube. That's the video version, and the audio version goes out on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So please, if you are on Twitch, get involved in the conversation and run out breath now.
Stay frosty.
There we go. Third time down. Hey, the most beautiful lady in the world, Danny Day 83, dropping the prime. So 10 months. Thanks, babe. Cheers, babe. David, don't make me come after you. I know where you live. Muted. Just kidding. Saying it for the for the continuity. Lol. Anyway, we are live now. We're going to jump into stories. We do have quite a few stories to jump through today, so let's just jump straight into it, because we need to be getting through things and off so we can get involved in Masters of the League. For those of you who don't know, that's our modded PES Master League that follows this show each and every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We've just won a few trophies. If you want to see that, how that played out, the video is on our YouTube, youtube.com/Ice Cream Uploads. But enough of that. We're going to jump into some stories after some housekeeping. We have a giveaway that will be ending very soon. ! Giveaway in the chat will give you access to the tweet to get involved to win yourself a retro gaming console. We have 25% off at Muscle Moose! ! Muscle Moose in the chat to get that code. And all Ice Cream Upload subscribers have a chance of winning one of these sexy hats! ! Loot drop if you want that. But that's enough of the exclamation marks. Let's bring up the split. Heads! You beautiful man. Thank you very much for the host. Good morning. Anyway, big weekend. Do you know what? So big that we've not even let Bibby speak yet. I mean, that's how big it's been. Also, the fact that I'm trying to rush to catch up with timings and stuff, because as mentioned, we've stopped this 2 or 3 times now, but it's fine. Anyway, babe. Good weekend.
Yes. I just played an absolute shit ton of PGA. Literally, just as we're talking, I've just put the new competition live. We made an executive decision on Saturday because a lot of people had already finished their rounds. We're going to have a tournament on Monday to Wednesday as well, but it's going to be a stupid one. So it's going to be like mini golf or pitch and putt or something like that. So there'll be no money to get in, no money to win, but obviously you still get the points to go towards your final total in the season. So this week it's mini golf madness. It's a course that I played on stream on Saturday for a round yesterday as we closed the stream out. So that's now live. It went live at midnight. You can play that until Wednesday before the actual competition. The proper event starts again on Thursday. So every Monday to Wednesday, we're going to have a stupid event like a mini golf or a pitch and putt or something like that, a par 2 course for us all to be able to play. Because obviously Thursday to Sunday is your usual competition in our society. But this is like a little mess about one that you don't have to take that seriously, but they are available there now. It's available for you to be able to use.
Yeah. Just before you continue though, I'm gonna drop out of this call because now you're like, I mean, it was good enough to hear, but yeah, we'll both just jump out.
All right.
Fun times at Ice Cream Uploads.
All the time.
Oh, you're still doing it? God! Do you know what? Okay, I'm gonna disconnect. I'm gonna kill Discord completely. Oh, gotta love Monday mornings, ladies and gentlemen. Who in the chat has been involved in the Ice Cream Uploads Society games on PGA? I've seen quite a lot of people getting involved in there actually. Basically, we just need someone to just trash bit. I mean, he can probably hear this, but it's fine. Duh. Discord, where are you? There you go. I've got like 1,000 Discord sources open. That'll be what it is. Boo. Boo. It's alright, we'll get him back. We will get Bibby back. Don't know why you're pulling faces, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay, let's try again. Let's try again. Okay, hello.
Hello.
Okay, that seemed
I
okay.
just in obscurity.
Hmm?
I would just literally just sat there in limbo, like, hello, is anybody there?
Oh, it's still shit. Still not great. Okay, we'll just have to soldier through it. Bib does sound a little bit poppy as well on his feed coming through to me, so I'm assuming that sounds the same for you guys. We will try to deal with it, but it's fine. Let's jump into some news. That's one way to deal with things. Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, first story of the day, and it's a big one because it covers everything that happened over the weekend in DC's fandom. Ad says maybe his mic. It could be my setup as well. If I've already had one issue with Streamlabs at my end, I know that's a Discord thing, but yeah, we will see. We'll see. It might just normalize over time. Discord can be a bit strange when it wants to be. Anyway, DC fandom, the 9 biggest announcements from Justice League to the Batman and Wonder Woman 1984. So DC Comics and Warner Brothers held their first ever fandom event today, a virtual convention that brought with it movie trailers, announcements, and exciting gameplay footage. And as if by magic, we mentioned the words DC fandom, and then in the chat, Tassim Anvia, Industry Leaker says, DC fandom, you say? I am here! Good morning, Mr. T. Mr. T, welcome. So from Warner Brothers Games Montreal's Gotham Knights reveal, including nearly 8 minutes of footage to the first trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League and an update on Neil Gaiman's Sandman series at Netflix, a lot happened. Here are the biggest moments and videos from DC fandom. If you missed it, there are encore panels playing for the next several hours. Head over to DC's fandom schedule for a full list of repeat performances. Gotham Knights announcement. As mentioned above, one of the biggest announcements was one fans have waited more than a year for. Gotham Knights is a Warner Brothers Games Montreal's Gotham Knights is Warner Brothers Games Montreal's new open world title. The developers brought a 4-minute cinematic trailer introducing the various playable characters, including Batgirl and Robin, alongside gameplay footage. I mean, there's 4 playable characters. Why do you want to name 2 of them? You might as well name the other 2 in there as well. But okay. So do you know what? Do you have the link to this at hand, Bib? Do you want to drop that in the chat? Just because there is a lot of it. There's a lot of video footage in here. So we're not going to click through all of the videos. The Verge article is really good because it does have all of the videos in one place. So we're not obviously going to watch all of these videos because we'll be here for a very long time. But we'll go over the article. I'll have bits playing whilst I'm reading, just so that you can see bits in the background. But if you want to watch the videos for yourself in their full glory and so on, then yeah, make sure you check the link out in the chat, which is there now. Thanks, babe. Okay. Do we stop and talk about Gotham Knights now, or should we run through the article and then come back and jump onto like the Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad bits?
I'm easy. Whatever you think the flow is good enough to be, I'm ready to go with that.
Okay, let's go for the full article so we can kind of position everything, and then we can jump on the bits that we want to talk about. So this footage here on screen is the Gotham Knights bit. There you go. Anyway, I'll leave that there for now. Okay, next up came Zack Snyder's Justice League trailer. So set to Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, the trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League finally arrived. The trailer includes a number of entirely new scenes that weren't included in the original version of the film, which released in 2017. There's no specific release date yet, but Snyder's version of Justice League will hit HBO Max in 2021, and it will air in 4-hour-long installments. Next up came the first look at Robert Pattinson in The Batman. Director Matt Reeves and star Robert Pattinson brought the first official trailer for The Batman to fandom. The trailer sets up a Gotham City riddled with crime. Surprise, surprise. With Bruce Wayne trying to figure out his place in it all. There are appearances from Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Jeffrey Wright as James Gordon, and more. Then Suicide Squad killed the Justice League reveal. Rocksteady Studios, the team behind Arkham City and Arkham Knight, finally revealed its new game, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, with a lengthy trailer. The title is a new action game starring the infamous supervillain team and is a continuation of the Arkham universe, according to Rocksteady. How that actually plays out remains unclear right now. The game will be launching in 2022 for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X, so no current gen, just next gen. Wonder Woman 1984 introduces Cheetah. Yes, Gal Gadot is back as Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman, and Chris Pine is back as Steve Trevor. But the coolest part about the new Wonder Woman 1984 trailer is Kristen Wiig's Cheetah. Although Wiig's Barbara was introduced in the first trailer, this marked the first time we saw her transform into the villainous character. Somewhere, Cats director Tom Hooper is silently cheering. Then we move on to the Suicide Squad roster of villains being unveiled. Although we didn't get a full trailer for the Suicide Squad, director James Gunn is in the editing bay, we did get a roll call teaser unveiling the lineup of villains. Plus, a pretty funny behind the scenes featurette does give us a glimpse into the director's sequel. And then we move on to The Flash, which has a new costume. A panel for Andy Muschietti's Flash was short and sweet, and there was no teaser yet, but we did get our first look at Barry Allen's new costume. Ezra Miller will reprise the role. Then we move into The Rock. I mean, no conference would be complete without The Rock. So first look at Dwayne Johnson in Black Adam. Dwayne Johnson teamed up with DC Comics, Jim Lee, and artist Boss Logic to create a cool concept video for Black Adam. The video gives a glimpse. No, that's not what I meant to say. The video gives a glimpse at Johnson in the Black Adam costume. Johnson spent the panel answering questions from fans about how powerful Black Adam is, what drew him to the role, and the quote there says, "I love that he's an anti-hero," and the story he wants to explore. Johnson also teased how certain characters from the Justice Society of America, Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Cyclone, and Atom Smasher, will be incorporated into Black Adam. And then finally, Netflix's Sandman series update. Neil Gaiman's Sandman series is still happening at Netflix, but because of production issues caused by COVID-19, it's unclear when the series will debut. One interesting note from Gaiman, Netflix's version of The Sandman will still start in 1916, but the thing that happens in Sandman 1, the point that the story starts is not 1988, it's now. This will allow Gaiman and his team to think about what this will do to the gender of characters. What is that going to do to the nature of characters? Gaiman called it a pretty liberating experience. So that's all of the main stories that were mentioned. So we have new games, new films, new TV / HBO / Netflix content. A lot included. Who actually watched this? If anyone watched this over the weekend, I didn't watch any of this. I mean, I've seen the videos now, seen all of them, but I didn't watch any of it live. What did you guys think? Did you watch the panels? And if you didn't, or if you did, if you watched the videos after, however you consume the content, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, babe?
Well, I only actually caught up with most of it yesterday morning, so me and Samantha sat downstairs and watched the trailers on the big TV in the front room. Super excited about the Batman. As Asim said, a shiny vampire actually seems pretty badass. I really like the gothic side of it. Like it's very rare that you get to see Batman put eyeliner on. You never get to see that, even though he clearly wears it underneath his mask. Like him looking like a goth from 2005, like that kind of era. It's very interesting to see how it looks incredibly dark. And there's one part of the trailer where Batman usually doesn't go to kill people, but he took down a villain and then carried on smashing his face in on the floor.
The violence, though, like obviously, it's not real. I mean, TV is real, 100%. But it was the way that he just kind of like drops him. It's like,
Yeah.
and it's like, damn, and then he just carries on going.
You never get to see that in Batman films. Usually it's like stun guns, or he'll just punch him in the face, knock him out, and then walk off. But he just continued to just beat the living shit out of him on the floor. Like, you'd never get to see that side of Batman. Even the Christian Bale style Batmans, where it was a lot more actiony. But yeah, I can't wait for this one. It looks great. Samantha was very skeptical when I said, because I'd watched the trailer first, like a little bit of it, and then went down and said, "You need to watch this." So she was like, "It's going to be shit," and I was like, "No, seriously." Watching, she's like, "Oh my god!" And then I didn't notice this, but I think it was Asim that shared it. Is it Colin Firth that plays Cobblepot? And like you couldn't tell it was him. Was it Colin Firth? I can't remember. but you couldn't tell it was in. Like, I'm just going to skim through Asim's tweet because it blew my mind because it was like Gary Oldman style levels of when he like bulked up to
Colin
become
Farrell.
Colin Farrell. That's it. Yeah, you couldn't tell it was. There it is. I've got it here. I'm just gonna
No
stick it in the
way.
chat
Do
for
you know what?
everyone.
I saw that first. Saw that first. Fist. Oh my god, twice now.
First.
Face. Did not know that that was Colin Farrell. I just thought, all right, that's just a big bloke. He actually looks
Yeah,
like. Do you know what? I can't name the guy that. Do you know what? You keep talking. I'll find a picture of the guy that I think he reminds
yeah.
me of.
Is it as I was looking through it? It's like this is literally like Gary Oldman levels of taking it as far away to play. Jesus Christ, how can I forget what it's called? Winston Churchill. I can't remember the name of the film. It was cracking film. But yeah, I've never seen transformations like that. Always blow my mind. But I can't wait for it. It looks great. Also, the Suicide Squad game. I've seen a lot more people say that that looks more entertaining than the new Marvel game that's coming out, and I hope it's 4 player because 4 player co-op, and that will be badass. It'll be amazing. Also, Gotham Knights. I hope that that's 4 player, but it's all cinematic trailers for it, aren't there? There's no obviously they're not going to show any gameplay, especially for a game that's going to be 2 years away. So very interested to see how they actually play out, whether or not it's going to be top down, um, like a dungeon crawler, or it's going to be a third person over the shoulder, like we've seen in the new Marvel game. It's going to be very interesting the next couple of years. But I mean, the trailers was all amazing. The Black Adam one was probably the one where I thought, but it was more of a comic book style thing. So I'm interested to see how that film plays out. You cast in The Rock, you're expecting people who may not even be interested in superheroes and superhero films to want to come and watch that film because of The Rock. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's now or never for The Rock. I said this to Samantha the other day. Although he is still mega ripped and is still in the best shape of his life, it looks like he's starting to get old. Like The Rock has not looked old. It looks like he's not aged in like the last 15, 20 years. Obviously, he's lost his hair and he's just got bigger, but he's always looked the same age. And I think he's starting to look older now. So I think it's kind of now and ever for him. How old is The Rock? He's got to
Got.
be in his late 40s now.
Yeah, yeah. He is
Yeah, he's
48.
40. Yeah,
Boom.
so he can't. But I can't say that he's not got that long left in terms of doing action films because Tom Cruise he's got to be way older than that. Tom Cruise, and he's still flying planes. Yeah, he's nearly 60, Tom Cruise, and he's still flying planes and jumping out of fucking windows. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm a psyched for the Black Adam film. Yes, because it's a DC film. I know it's going to be great, but from that trailer, it was just very much comic booky type page turner voiceover over the top. It didn't really give away that much. I think that was probably the weakest out of them all. But from what I've seen from all the trailers and all the news that came out, it looked phenomenal. It looked like such a good event. There was no way that I would have been able to stay up for the 24 hours, and I'm glad that I just managed to binge them yesterday morning. Instead, Asim's hardcore, and we'll sit there for the full 24 hours to watch through it all. But yeah, interesting.
I'm gonna give up, and I'm finding this dude that so the conversation has moved on a lot since then. But there is an American. Do you know? I won't go into it too much. But Colin Farrell looks like a big sort of dopey American actor that's in like a load of sitcom sort of stuff, and I think he does
Mhm.
voiceovers and bits, and it looks like that. Doesn't look like Colin Farrell. I did not even know. I mean, I've not paid that much attention to the Batman stuff, if I'm being honest, because I just thought the Batman, another failed Batman film. Great, DC can't make films until DC make another. I say they can't make films. They've made some of the best superhero films ever in the
Mhm.
Dark Knight series, but since then it's just gone to shit.
Yeah,
So I thought, okay, well, not expecting anything from this. I don't really care, so I'm not going to pay
yeah.
attention. So I've not watched any of the pre stuff. I saw Robert Pattinson was cast as Batman, and much like a lot of people out there, just thought, great, Robert Pattinson is Batman. I'm not asked. Not asked. It's
Yeah.
it's, it's another subpar thing in terms of, oh great, he's just famous, so that's why we've put him in. Like Ben Affleck, didn't do a bad job, but didn't do a great job either.
Mm.
He's just,
They're big shoes to fill, though, aren't they? Let's be honest. If
yeah,
you're
yeah,
coming from the 2000s Batman, the trilogy, the last Batman trilogy was probably some of the best superhero films ever. That trilogy was so iconic, not just because of the way that the films were, but some of the performances that have got made in there, like for me, they're nearly untouchable when it comes to superhero films. They are just nearly perfect cinema.
Cinema.
But
Cinema.
one of the biggest things that I want to take away from this as well is that the Schneider cut of the Justice
Justice League.
League is going to be 4 1 hour long installments.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of bonkers.
Oh,
Do you not think it's like a mini series rather than it being a film? I still don't understand.
How has Asim got the exact guy that I was looking for? What is his name? Okay, I'll bring this on screen. That's exactly the dude that I was talking about. What is his name? It's probably in the tweets, but let me bring this on screen. How? And they could have just Richard Kind. That's it. Richard Kind. So at least I mean, it looks like it because other people have had the same thought process. But that's Colin Farrell in the Batman. That's Richard Kind. It's the same person. He does like that sort of like do you know, really crap impression coming on, but like
a shit-eating grin.
Yeah, he's got like that sort of like look about his face, and he always talks in a really silly, almost like like Peter Griffin, but not that far. But like, yeah, him. Well done, Asim. Thank you very much for agreeing. That's the dude. 100%. That's the dude. That's him. But yeah, no way did I expect. I saw that face. Didn't know it was Colin Farrell. I can see it in his eyes. Like you can tell, obviously, the difference in his eyes. That's definitely Colin Farrell's eyes. But the rest of it is just Colin Farrell's eyes on Richard Kind's face. But yeah.
Would you watch a 4 hour film?
Ish.
Would it hold your interest that long?
I would watch a 4 hour film. I've almost got there with what was the thing on Netflix? The gangster one. What's it called?
The Irishman.
The Irishman. Yeah, I watched that. I didn't enjoy The Irishman as much as other people did, but I watched it for the full length of it. So 4 hours I could watch. I mean, I sat and watched about 6 hours of Last Chance U last night on Netflix. So sitting there and watching 4 hours of something is not an issue for me as long as it holds my attention, as long as it's good enough to keep me hooked in.
Yeah.
If it's like watching the Batman versus Superman, is that what it was called? Never. I would never, ever, 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 ever watch that film ever again. I genuinely, very few films do I have a passionate dislike for. Some of them will be like, do you know what, I didn't like it, it's fine. But that, I genuinely just didn't like it. It was rushed, and anyway, without going into too much detail, I wouldn't watch that again. I would still watch more DC films, but that's part of the reason why I'm saying I wasn't bothered about the Batman. I wasn't bothered about any of that sort of stuff coming into this. Seeing that trailer for the Batman was badass. It was genuinely
What you needed to get involved in it. See, I don't mind. I don't like the fact that it's 4 hour long installments, but I can see why that is going to be that, because trying to get people's attention for 4 hours is obviously a hell of a task. However, I don't understand why films get brought out when they leave so much on the cutting room floor. Like, the reason this is getting redone again is because the plot line was shit and people didn't take to it because of how shit it was. It was dull. It was boring. It seemed like things was back to front. They clearly didn't make it. They didn't edit it right. They didn't spend enough time looking at the whole film as a timeline and thought, actually, that bit needs to be taken out. The bit that's 45 minutes in needs to be brought into the first 20 minutes, because then that would make the rest of the sense. Why is all of these pieces of information that will make the film better 3 years later? No, 4 years, because it's coming out in 2021. It came out in 2017. Why 4 years later do they think, actually, the bits that we left on the floor, if we stick that in, maybe 3 hours in, that will make sense to the whole plot? I've never understood how they don't just look at the whole film in its entirety and think, actually, the bit that we've cut out, stick that in there, everything's fine. It's so.
It's what's the word? There's a phrase for it, and it's basically a product of a panel. So rather than one person going, "This is the artistic view," you essentially get that. So that is the Snyder director's cut kind of thing. This is it. But then you'll get I can't remember. There's a phrase for it. It's not trial by panel, but it's something that sounds similar to that. But anyway, basically, no, there's a phrase that like a general phrase. It's basically that it means the same thing as too many chefs. It's the same sort of thing as that. But when it comes to something like this, DC films in particular have had the issue of too many chefs. We'll run with that phrase instead. That's not exactly what I was trying to say, but it's basically Snyder has a go, and then the studios will have their input, and then maybe DC throw some other stuff in or whatever, and they go, oh well, then maybe that's too much, and then you start to get there is things in terms of they will have stats and research, they being the studios or the distribution chains will say, okay, this film's 4 hours long now. That would not hold the attention. The key, there's like a key area of where films need to hit in the ballpark. It needs to not be shorter than this much, but it needs to not be longer than this much to get more people in, for better advertising, for it to be able to feature on TV, for DVD releases and stuff. And that heavily impacted the Snyder Cut. So loads of stuff was taken out, which meant that it was really chopped up, so it lost a lot of the direction and stuff. So having things like the Snyder Cut is amazing for me. I'm not sure. I can only hope that that's what killed Batman vs Superman, because Batman vs Superman was basically, it went from hey, more like hey, I'm Batman, and then it's like hey, I'm Superman, and then it's like okay, you just said one thing, or you sent a letter. So because you sent a letter, I can't remember what it was. Spoilers or whatever. I'll keep away from it. But anyway, they went from being they're aware of each other to I absolutely have to kill you and everything else in the process of trying to kill you. And it went from naught to like that. Wow, that escalated quickly. Naught to 60 in no time. It went boom, like break your neck. The speed that the story jumped forward, and you kind of got to feel that maybe that's the result of that. If they hadn't cut Trap out, maybe there has a natural build, and it was just the story pulled me left, it pulled me right. I didn't really develop with it, and I had to kind of like believe that okay, you build some parts of the story and drag it out, and it's really slow and takes forever, but the main underlying story of why Batman's going to fight Superman has just gone at the speed of light. That's what the film is. Batman versus Superman. That's the bit that you take your time on. But anyway, the reason I'm waffling there is because the chat has moved on quite a bit. I just want to jump back and jump through everyone's comments. And so you read this one out from Jim, from Mr. Butterworth. The new Batman trailer looks amazing. Shiny Vampire actually seems proper badass. It seems good. Asim says, overall DC fandom was the best streamed event since they had to go that way because of COVID-19. I watched most of it and it was really good. High praise. Nice. That's what I like. I mean, you kind of got feelings that might be the case, because the amount of publicizing that DC had in this, and I mean, I don't like not just things like in terms of the hashtags or hash flags, however you want to call them, on Twitter, the sponsored hashtags, and the building up to it, and the announcing it early, and the confidence going into it, plus properties across film and video games and TV, including actors like Robert Pattinson, massive actors literally like The Rock and so on. You kind of feel with that much that they were gonna nail it anyway, but obviously then you've got other bits like the Fortnite stuff, which can't be a coincidence. Harley Quinn and co being back in the game, the stuff that's coming in November about the Joker and stuff being announced just prior to it. That is absolutely nailed on in terms of product campaign. So you kind of feel that they were gonna nail it, but still, it's easy enough to build up to an event and then it be a bit flat. We've seen it with both PlayStation and Microsoft. Their events haven't quite nailed the presentation or the messaging or whatever. So GG's for him absolutely smashing it. Asim says it doesn't interest. Asim Ads says it doesn't interest him. Good morning, chappers. Hey. And Mega Mario says, wait, Tommy's that old? I thought it was mid-40s.
Yeah, man, he's old. He looks great though, to be fair, for nearly 60.
Suicide Squad game is a 1 to 4 player co-op drop in drop out. If playing single player, it can switch between the characters. Nice. Mr. Butters says, not seen Black Adam, but DC really need to up their game with many bad films over the past few years. Batman and Black Adam, as well as Wonder Woman, seem to be changing their bad run. Hopefully. Unless it's not Gotham City Imposters remastered, I don't care for DC. Gotham City Imposters remastered or bust. Jenkins says, hi, I am new here. Gift 100 PSN or unfollow. Get the fuck out of here. Good morning, Jenkins. Not a fan of the Justice League movie. Can't see a few scenes and extended length making it better, which is what she said. I watched SummerSlam last night, says Ads. Regarding Gotham Knights, Bibby, it's either solo or a 2-player co-op only. I've watched an hour of PGA tutorials. I feel like I'm the best player in the world right now, says Jenkins. It's all right, because Bibby's got more competitions. You just mentioned it previously, so you can get involved in the Ice Cream Society stuff, Jenkins, and absolutely steamroller everyone. Yeah. Joss Whedon changed a lot when he took over, or even before the execs got involved. Which one was that one? Which one did Joss Whedon take over? Because I know he was involved in the Marvel stuff, but I don't know.
Joss Whedon did the Justice League alongside. Was it? No, it was Joss Whedon that did the Justice League.
But yeah, I remember reading articles about like the bit that I was talking about the outside influences in film times, in lengths and things in terms of the studios demanding specific length of the film in terms of it's all right that you can make a full story, but you have to say in this amount of time, and that's just like, well, then I can't tell the full story. If you're giving me a restriction on time, then I can't tell the full story that we've all signed off, we agreed to deliver that messaging. I need 4 hours. Oh, sorry, it needs to be 2 hours 80 minutes. 2 hours a minute, 2.8 hours should I say? 2 hours 40 minutes or 3 hours 20 minutes or something like that ballpark. I remember reading an article on that, but yeah. Anyway, enough of the film stuff. Let's jump into this. This is another article that's very, very, I say on the money. It's still the same sort of conversation area. There we go. Warner premieres the first Gotham Knights gameplay. Batman title has players controlling one of 4 superheroes. So W Games Montreal, developer of 2013's Batman Arkham Origins, has announced Gotham Knights for release in 2021. Let me just hit play on the trailer while I'm reading, so you've got something to look at. I'll skip forward a little bit past the... there you go. So Gotham Knights is playable either in solo or 2-player co-op and will release for PC as well as current and next-gen PlayStation and Xbox consoles. The game sees players controlling one of 4 superhero characters: Nightwing, Robin, Red Hood, and Batgirl following the death of Bruce Wayne. Gameplay takes place in a dynamic and interactive open-world Gotham City where players take on villains such as Mr. Freeze. They'll use a variety of abilities, weapons, and unique combat moves to neutralize their foes, Warner said. Oh no, it's going to go off screen. Oh well, okay. With the Belfry as their base of operations, this new era of heroes. Let's hit play on the gameplay now. Both. So with the Belfry as their base of operations, this new era of heroes will solve mysteries that connect the darkest chapters in the city's history and must defeat notorious villains in epic confrontations. Development is being led by creative director Patrick Redding, who previously directed Splinter Cell titles Conviction and Blacklist. You're not trying to become the new Batman. You're becoming your own badass superhero, said senior producer Fleur Marty during a live stream on Saturday. With Gotham Knights, the team at Warner Brothers Games Montreal is bringing the Batman family of characters to life in a unique way to delight both fans and new players, said WB Games president David Haddad in a prepared statement. As we embark on a new era of interactive storytelling, our development team has been diligently working to create a new in-depth experience within DC's Batman universe. The team is thrilled to announce Gotham Knights and share our work in bringing a different story of the DC superheroes to the forefront, added Patrick Redding, creative director. We're looking forward to fans playing and enjoying a lot of the action as this new guard of strong DC superheroes in Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Robin, while solving Robin, not robbing, that's something completely different. While solving an original mystery set against the living, breathing Gotham City. WB Games Montreal had been teasing the new Batman game for much of the past year, starting in September 2019, and then finally got around to releasing it now. So there you go. I haven't watched any of the gameplay stuff. This is the only thing that I haven't watched. So this trailer that's on the screen now, the Gotham Knights official 4K gameplay, it's like an 7.5 minute gameplay trailer. I haven't watched any of this.
I actually missed this as well, to be perfectly honest.
Have you guys in the chat taken a glance at this? Because I imagine with this being made,
I need to go to the toilet. Burp.
Okay.
I've been holding this piss in for about half an hour. One sec.
Bagger off. So you guys that have seen this, what are your thoughts on the gameplay? How do you feel this looks? For people that have played Batman games previously, I'll bring the discussion now back on screen as well, so everyone knows what we're talking about. Does this feel like something that you wanted? Does this feel like the games that you've played previously? Does it feel like a step up? What are your thoughts? Asim says, looks proper race this. Happy they showed some early gameplay too. Only concern is the enemy levels and number driven stuff. Hopefully it's not overbearing. Definitely going to be rocking it as Batgirl. Yeah. Mr. Butter says, playing as Red Hood is the best thing. And Asim says, oh, I'm a big fan of Court of Owls storyline in comics. So happy that made it in. See, that, I have heard quite a bit about that in terms of one of the shows that we take a lot of cues from in terms of content styles and presenter styles is the Kind of Funny content. If you haven't checked out Kind of Funny games on Twitch, YouTube, wherever, check them out. They're really, really good content. Anyway, what you'd expect with a channel that has so many talented people working on it. Anyway, the point is they are heavily invested in comics, whereas I'm not. I'm heavily invested in comic characters, so I've always had an interest in Spider-Man, Iron Man, and obviously X-Men growing up with all that sort of stuff, and then the MCU started and so on. But in terms of their initial origins, the storylines, so like the Port of Owls, that stuff kind of is just lost on me entirely. I haven't. I'll get rid of this off the screen now. I haven't read through any of the comic book series. I mean, I think Predator, which isn't something that you usually associate with comics, is pretty much the only comic that I've read through, and that's because David had like a comic like novel in the bathroom at my dad's house years ago, and I just read that on the toilet. So that's about that's about the almost entirety of my comic book history. So the Court of Owl stuff. I'm always good when that sort of stuff gets put in because I know. I mean, for me, it doesn't matter in for my own personal enjoyment in terms of which storyline it is. It doesn't matter. I'm playing something new, so it doesn't matter if it's a comic or not. But if it's a tried and tested and loved storyline from comic books, you kind of have to be successful. If you're taking, say, the Court of Owls is, I don't know if it is, but say it's one of the most cherished storylines from the DC universe. Then you kind of have to do it justice. If you don't do it justice, you are gonna find out about it very, very much from the community that you are aiming this game at. So you have to do it justice. So for someone like me who doesn't really care, that's kind of a win-win. I mean, I'm getting a new game, and it's definitely going to be held to account. So they kind of have to deliver on it. So the Court of Owl stuff is lost on me, but I'm happy to take the benefits that come with it. I've played the Arkham series, and this gameplay interests me a fair deal, but I'm very on the fence until more gameplay is seen. Can't wait to rock as Nightwing. Well, there we go. You've almost got like a full squad in there. Do you know? I'll be Robin, and we can rock it all together. Mr. T will be Batgirl. Mr. Butters will be Red Hood. Omega Mario will be Nightwing. I'll be Robin. There we go. That's the first gameplay stream sorted right there. I mean, Bibbs is the Bat fan on the channel, but it's fine. Sorry, Bibbs. I'm lucky. Get out of here. David says big game or AVP. I think it was maybe. Actually, no, I don't remember. I was thinking AVP, but maybe it was big game. So yes, there we go. Okay, so that was basically Court of Owls is a secret organization that kidnaps kids, circus performers, and turns them into assassins. Quick summary. So I'll be rocking Robin. Yes, rocking Robin. Beep, fiddly beep. Let's jump back to the first article that we had on screen though, so we can look at the reveal trailer for Suicide Squad. I must admit, I actually quite like this. Let me give you a little bit of caveat. My experience with Suicide Squad is I'm aware it existed in comics. Having not known anything about it, I kind of felt it was like another one of those. Let's just throw superheroes together for the sake of cross pollination. You get a bunch of different comic book storyline arcs, make them all kind of weave together. You will make all Harley Quinn people buy all of the Shark Dude. What's it? Is it Shark King, Shark Man, whatever it's called? Shark Dude is his name now, by the way. So you merge them all together. All Harley Quinn fans will buy things with the other characters in it, and so on. Boomerang will buy Harley Quinn stories, and so on. So I was always kind of like, and then the film came out, and the film was like, so yeah, I wasn't really interested in a Suicide Squad game. Obviously, we saw the logo come out, the like Suicide Squad logo, which is in the top corner of this video on the screen now. This logo just here. Wasn't interested. Watched the trailer, and I was pleasantly surprised by the trailer. I'll keep the volume on for now, but I'll keep it down low. The bike riding at the beginning reminded me of Bat Metal. So we go. This is the trailer. Actually, let's skip forward a little bit. This is the trailer. I think it's good in terms of it has a little bit of humor. It kind of, you see a lot of action, you see a lot of story, you see characters developing, but there is a nice level of humor in there that actually, yeah, it caught my attention. Mr. T says Suicide Squad very smart of Rocksteady to make Harley Quinn look very similar to the Margot Robbie. Something Avengers suffers from, among many things, is to do with the hero likenesses. Just look off after the years of MCU movies. Yeah, that exactly. There you go. You can see Harley Quinn there. Looks very much like a Margot Robbie copy and paste kind of thing. So I completely agree with that.
Yeah. Well, her face is making a lot of money at the moment, isn't it? So why not? If they can sign her, well, is there any actual voice actors that we know in these games? Are they just going to be voice acted by people who sound similar?
No, every single character is voiced by Troy Baker, because Troy
Man of
Baker
many talents.
voices every single character that's ever existed ever in any game ever. Not that I have any negatives against Troy Baker. I really like Troy Baker. I find it quite a bit of a meme how successful he is, and well deserved as well. Jay Butter says the film put me off anything to do with Suicide Squad. Worst film I've seen ever. The game, I'll keep my mind open though. I mean, watch the trailer. The trailer is really good, so I'll mute it now. Now that we're about to move on, but yeah, the trailer looks really good. There's a nice bit of action. It looks very well set. There's comedy in it. Do you know what? I'll stop it now just because it kind of gets towards the end of the trailer where you get the point of it. And not that you really have spoilers in trailers, but still, if you want to watch it yourself, then it's better off to watch it rather than watch it on full screen rather than in the screen with discussing now DC fandom, all the things over the top of it. Watch it in its full glory. I think Harley is the same as the Arkham games. Shark is Samoa Joe from WWE, apparently. Ooh, interesting. They were going to do Suicide Squad in the Arrowverse TV shows as the first big crossover, but dropped it for the movie. Didn't know that. Did not know that. I really like the Arrowverse. So, first, I watched a lot of Arrow and Flash, and then got through the first seasons of crossovers and stuff like that. There was a few points where it got really slow and then started to pick up again. But then there was about 72 different versions of the Flash. Like, by that point, crossing over with Arrow, which was having slow bits as well, we just kind of gave up on it there. So we gave up on that at some point. I did really like. Is it Grant Gustin? Is that his name? Who plays Barry Allen? I'm disappointed that he didn't get a chance to be Barry Allen in the films, and they went with Ezra Miller. I'd have liked to see him continue that, but yeah.
How many people do you reckon have transitioned from a TV series playing the same character into films? Because I mean, I would love. I'm a big advocate for Gotham. I absolutely love that TV series. I would love to have seen a film with using the cast from Gotham moving in, like David Maurice, I think he's called. I don't know how to pronounce his second name, but he played the young Bruce Wayne. I imagine in a couple of years, I would love to see him be Batman in 5 years maybe when he's a little bit older, because I think he's only like 19 now. I think that'll be really cool. But yeah, I read someone actually put into the chat, and then I had to go away and read up about it. But the Flash film is going through different phases, isn't it? Like he's going through different timelines. So you're actually going to see Michael Keaton come back as Batman. That excites me more than anything in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. I know that we mentioned that the other day. That Michael Keaton, and was there someone else that was named? I can't remember who it was, but I didn't realize it was the Flash. I thought it was like something to do in the new Batman films, but Flash absolutely makes sense. But yeah, that is nice. Just give me Grant Gustin doing it. It's fine. It's fine. Where were I? Okay, I also like the Crisis crossover, bringing in Ezra Miller's Flash. I don't know what that means. Suicide Squad were in the Arrowverse, I think season 4, without Harley. Oh, were they?
See, I stopped watching Arrow and The Flash after maybe season 2 or 3.
Yeah, I was
I
probably
can't
about the
remember.
same. Watch the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover and links all versions of DC movies and TV shows. I can't remember. I was watching The Flash until the point where it was there was like a second Earth or something like that, and at that point I was like, oh. And I think actually what happened was our skybox died and we lost all of the episodes we had saved up, so we just gave up on it at that point. It was like, it was a bit of a chore anyway. I'm not going to go out of my way to go and watch it. But yeah, we'd given up on it long before then. Anyway, back in the room. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League is confirmed. We knew it was pretty much there anyway, since URL leaks have been there for a while.
Thank you for the ice cream.
Oh, Precision! What a guy. Thank you very much for the host, dude. Gotham Knights looks class. So we have 2 games, plus TV, plus film, plus all the other bits to look forward to. Do you know what? I'm actually genuinely excited. I mean, I don't have anything against DC at all. It's more a case of I've been excited and almost had that excitement rewarded by Marvel properties, be that films in the MCU, be that Spider-Mans and so on. And I haven't had that level of success from DC stuff. I've been excited and been like, I've gone to the cinemas, got VIP recliner seats to see Batman vs Superman, and been like, and as you can tell from the way I was talking about a bit ago, I never intend to watch that film ever again. Very few films do I have that sort of approach to it. So DC, I'm not against. I'm not used to being excited for. And the content that's come out of this DC fandom, I actually feel like, I wish I'd have sat down and watched it, because there's a shit ton of stuff coming out there across multiple different platforms. So one thing I will take from that is that cross-channel convergence element that DC have nailed here, in terms of internet. Use the internet to broadcast your content, using social media to get things out, using celebrity and stars in terms of Robert Pattinson and The Rock and all of the other actors, whilst simultaneously having content in Fortnite, announcing content to come out on HBO and Netflix, and future video games that are coming out in 2021 and 2022. Plus, was it 3 films? So there's the Justice League film, The Batman, and Wonder Woman 1984. They've realised that having a full out attack across multiple different avenues is something that Marvel, due to Disney's input, most likely, have smashed for the last 5-10 years, but in particular. So when something comes out in the MCU, they hit everywhere. Everything turns into Marvel. And DC, for the first time, you kind of feel have done that hugely with this. So GG's on that. And if that gets me excited for more stuff coming, that's good. Just as long as it delivers on the final product, then I'm happy with it. If all of the games and all the films play as good as that one scene where Batman smashed the shit out of that dude in the trailer, then sign me up. Sign me up. Anyway, let's move forward. I did mention another video game in there, which ties nicely in. So we mentioned, obviously, the Harley Quinn and so on sets that have recently appeared in Fortnite. Well, you could play those, just not on your phone if you don't have it installed anyway. And there's been another step in that saga. For those of you that may not be aware, Fortnite is now no longer on the iOS App Store. You can't download the game. You can't update the game. If you have it installed already and it's up to date, you can play it, but maybe not for long, as a result of a feud between Epic and Apple. And the latest step in that is Xbox has come out in support of Epic's Apple restraining order, written by Andy Robinson for VGC. It says, Microsoft says blocking Unreal Engine updates would harm game creators and gamers. #3Fortnite is the image. So Xbox has come out in support of Epic in its request for a temporary restraining order against Apple. On Sunday, head of Xbox Phil Spencer made his Twitter followers aware of a statement Microsoft had filed with the Northern District of California court supporting Epic's motion for a temporary restraining order against the iOS firm. This month, Epic challenged Apple's 30% cuts of in-app purchases by adding a direct payment option to the Fortnite app in breach of store rules. The move resulted in the removal of Fortnite from iOS, and Epic immediately filed a lawsuit. Epic subsequently requested a temporary restraining order, which would reverse Fortnite's App Store removal and the impending cancellation of its developer accounts, which it needs to support its popular Unreal Engine tech on iOS. In Microsoft's statement of support, its GM of gaming developer experience, Kevin Gammill, highlighted the effect blocking Epic's ability to support Unreal on iOS would have on developers. He called on the court to grant Epic's temporary restraining order on the basis that blocking Unreal Engine would harm game creators and gamers. Epic Games' Unreal Engine is critical technology for numerous game creators, including Microsoft, he said. Denying Epic access to Apple's SDK and other development tools will prevent Epic from supporting Unreal Engine on iOS and macOS, and will place Unreal Engine and those game creators that are building and may build games on it at a substantial disadvantage. He added, if Unreal Engine cannot support games for iOS or macOS, Microsoft would be required to choose between abandoning its customers and potential customers on the iOS and macOS platforms, or choosing a different game engine when preparing to develop new games. Gamble said Apple's removal of Unreal Engine's ability to develop updates could also harm already launched iOS and macOS games built with the middleware. If the game engine can no longer develop updates that take advantage of new iOS or macOS features, fix software bugs, or patch security flaws, this will harm games that have already launched on iOS and macOS, and in turn harm gamers, he said. Microsoft has a company-wide multi-year Unreal Engine license agreement and has released games with the technology on PC, console, and mobile. The Xbox firm had its own dispute with Apple this month when the iOS firm blocked the release of Xbox game streaming on the platform. This led to a strongly worded statement in which Microsoft claimed that Apple stands alone as the only general-purpose platform to deny consumers from cloud gaming and game subscription services like Xbox Game Pass. I mean, this would be top billing. If we didn't have a DC fandom event, this story would be top billing. It's a big story. And especially with everything that's happened already in this, but I mean, that's quite another big step. But babe, what are your thoughts?
I didn't see other companies coming out to bat for Epic. However, it makes perfect sense for them to be able to do it. I mean, Microsoft and Apple have been at loggerheads since the dawn of time. So them going into bat for Epic for all the right reasons on their behalf, because obviously it's them that are going to. We had this conversation last week when the story started to break. I think Apple Apple have a lot more to lose than Epic do by stopping them, but it also stops Microsoft from using some of their features on other devices as well. They're saying people who want to create using the engine will have a massive problem. I didn't see Microsoft coming out to defend them. I didn't see anyone doing it. I thought they would just leave Epic to go and do their own thing. But I think Epic having friends in all the right places is going to help them. And I think Apple may be left with egg on their face at the end of this. But it is going to be a long old road, this. We said it last week. We are spectators in this, but we're just waiting on the sidelines to see what actually happens. And this just took a turn that I didn't even think was going to happen. With Microsoft coming into bat. So I'm very interested to see how much momentum this will pick up going forward.
I mean, Spotify did come out to support Epic because they've had a similar sort of issue with Apple in the past in terms of costs and in terms of access and placement and so on. And they believe that Apple are too authoritarian in their monopoly of the platform. Obviously, it's their own platform, which we've gone through this previously. The simplest argument is that Apple have made a platform. If you don't like it, don't use it. But that only washes until a point when a platform becomes so big that you need to use it to be successful. Then the laws and the rules around those platforms change. You can be a victim of your own success in that sort of sense. If you're successful to the point of you are controlling failure or success yourself, if people have to use your platform to be successful, then that's when the antitrust and monopoly laws start to kick in terms of Apple have built a platform that is so ingrained in society that society has to use that. So if you want to play Fortnite and be successful, Fortnite's a shit example because it's successful elsewhere, but let's say if a new game comes out on mobile and so on, it pretty much has to come out on iOS devices. Not all, but pretty much has to come out on iOS and Android to be a success. And by doing that, by that being the case, you are held to Apple's standards, by Apple's requests, by Apple's rules and regulations. And the argument, the simplest argument before drilling into it is that, well, that's the deal you have to make with the devil. If you're in bed with the devil, if you want access to all of the benefits, you have to sign up to all the rules and regulations, which, like I said, that's all right on paper, but what if the devil is making you sign stuff that is unfair? So if you're selling your soul, okay, well, you sold your soul, but you got the success, but should you have sold all of your soul? Should you only have sold a bit of your soul? I mean, is it right to even sell your soul? And anyway, that is where this whole conversation comes out, and it's the big brands that have the might to take on Apple. The reason you're not seeing a smaller developer taking on Apple is because if Apple takes on We've Got Babinho Incorporated that wants to make a golf swing game thing, and We've Got Babinho Incorporated go, do you know what? Fuck this shit. I hate the fact that the costs are so high. Apple goes, all right then, get out. And We've Got Babinho Incorporated's gone. It's a little pop in indie development conversation strings that no one really picks up on or notices, and it's all gone. And then life continues, but We've Got Babinho Incorporated is gone. No one plays the game, and it's gone flash in the pan. It needs someone like Apple and Xbox and Spotify, not Apple, Epic and Xbox and Spotify to come out to be able to make change there. The issues around that is, are they doing it for themselves? Yeah, they are. I mean, they're doing it for us, for themselves. But the other things to consider is, okay, fucking mental block. Oh, I've just forgotten what I was going to say. I was trying to pad if I remember what I was saying. Nope, I've lost it. I've lost it. Great, great. There was another point I was going to build on, so I can't remember what I was going to say. But yeah. I mean, they are looking after their own interests there.
Absolutely. They're fighting the consumer battle for us because eventually it will make them more money.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It is still a good fight. Oh, that's it. That was it. So the other bit to come on to is, okay, they're fighting the fight for us, for themselves, but for us. It's a good fight. I don't care from like what you could say. I will agree with some of it, but I will never agree with the people who go, do you know what? You signed up for it. It is what it is. You use it. Just because something is unfair and you've signed up to it doesn't mean that you don't have any say in it being fair, or you shouldn't request change. Society's not fair, but society changes over time. Society's getting better over time. Just because something's agreed on right now doesn't mean that it's right. It just means that everyone's in agreement right now, and it's law or it's acceptable. Whatever. Things change over time. Things become better over time. So I'm all for. I mean, that's a massive statement. That's kind of almost me comparing Apple to racial prejudice in society and stuff like that. It's not. Obviously, it's not at that level, but the fundamentals behind it are the same. The issues, though, that come out of it is when you get things like Epic that are, rather than just fighting the fight against the brands, they're using kids. You go out and play in the free Fortnite Cup, and win yourself a PS4 and win yourself a Samsung phone and so on. 1,200 devices they had, we reported last week in the free Fortnite Cup, that they're giving to their players to make them turn on Apple. They're militarizing a youthful audience with benefits of cookies. Do you want cookies? i.e. PS4. Then do the thing that we want you to do. And these kids don't care about Apple and all of that story. You're militarizing, you're arming an audience that doesn't really care just to fight your battle for them, and that's when it starts to get a bit shit. Anyway, you've heard a lot about that. You've probably seen a lot of stories about that over the weekend, so we won't spend too much on it because we have a couple more stories to go. So let's jump ahead. Next story of the day is that Cyberpunk 2077 will have free DLC written by Cian and Maher for VG247. CD Projekt Red recently confirmed that Cyberpunk 2077 will feature at least some free DLC packs. The news comes from Twitter, where a fan publicly asked the company if Cyberpunk 2077 would include free DLC in the same vein as The Witcher 3. CD Projekt Red quickly responded by the official Cyberpunk 2077 Twitter account, posting an irrefutably unambiguous, oh yeah, Kool-Aid gif. Check out the exchange below. So they got Jonah H, aka at NachoFireX, says, Cyberpunk game. Will the game have free DLC like your big brother Witcher game? Cyberpunk responded with, oh yeah. So it's worth noting that this doesn't mean the game won't feature paid DLC as well. The Witcher 3 received 2 huge expansions after launch, Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, that were certainly cheap, but definitely not free. On the contrary, the free DLC packs for The Witcher 3 encompassed alternate cosmetics for certain characters, or added new contracts such as the Missing Miners mission. So, although CD Projekt Red has confirmed that Cyberpunk 2077 will have free DLC, it will likely appear in the form of different outfits for Jackie or an extra side quest to take on during your second playthrough. More sizable expansions will almost inevitably launch as paid DLC. And we're not going to jump into the related news because there are other stories. But yeah. Unsurprisingly, the biggest and most hyped game release for the past 12 months, I mean, maybe, in some people's opinions, is going to have DLC. And unsurprisingly, some of it will cost money and some of it won't. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I think the way that they've worded it is perfect, really, because there is absolutely every chance that this is going to have paid DLC. Why would they not? It's going to be an expanded story, I imagine. I mean, we don't even know the proper story of the game now. We don't know how long it's going to be or anything. But they're 100% going to have paid DLC. But even if it's just a little sliver of free DLC, it could be half an hour, them just saying yes, oh yeah, shall we say, with the GIF that they posted. It just builds expectations, doesn't it? People are just even more happy. They're even more on side than there was before. Even if it's a small sliver, it could just be the free DLC could be a new Bobby hat or a skin for a weapon or something like that in the game. They've asked the question, they've answered it very smartly and said, "Yeah, we're going to have free DLC."
Yeah, that's it. Leave it as that. Just don't say more than you need to. Just answer the question, get your point across, get the benefit, and don't even have to consider talking about any negatives. Will it have free DLC? Yeah. I didn't say exclusively. I did not say exclusively. You guys make up your own. Most people will just take that and go, yeah, free DLC. Woo! But yeah, it's pretty much nailed on that there will be some form of paid content. I can't imagine a game as big as that won't have any form of paid content coming forward. Hopefully, we're not sat here in 3 months' time, 2 months' time, going, okay, well that paid system in Cyberpunk is fucking abysmal. I doubt that will be the case. Cyberpunk and CD Projekt has been positioned phenomenally ever since Keanu Reeves took the stage as being pro-consumer, as being breathtaking, as Keanu Reeves and the dude in the audience said. They've smashed it, and I would be hugely surprised if they do a land grab for extra pennies after launch, because they are setting themselves up as being the developers of the future, essentially, with that sort of statement and consumer focused aura around them. I can't see them shitting that up. There will be paid stuff, but I would be surprised if we are sat here in a month or two going, okay, well, this just feels like an absolute greed fest. If it's anything, I mean, it's obviously not going to be loot boxy, but if it's anything that has that level of controversy, I will eat Bibby's hat with Bibby's mouth. There we go. Anyway, one final story before we drop off and then jump back on for Masters of the League today. Anyone in the chat play Fall Guys? Have you all played Fall Guys? Have you got any crowns? How many crowns have you got? Let me know. I have 2.
None.
One of which was from the free pass. I got my first crown, and then I haven't played it since. But yeah, anyway, the reason I ask about Fall Guys is because the final story of the day is that the upcoming Fall Guys patch has a lot of things you've been asking for. Fall aboard! Written by Vikkie Blake for Eurogamer. A new Fall Guys patch entitled Spicy Hot Fix is almost ready to go. So this is a tweet. We've got a patch that's almost ready to go. We'll hopefully drop it in the next week, tweeted by the Sassy Fall Guys Twitter account. I'm really excited about this one, as it's got lots of things you've been asking for. The patch introduces a plethora of changes, including a tweaked selection algorithm that avoids team games if the team sizes will be uneven, and changes to spectator mode that finally puts your party members first in the selection. There's also an invert XY axis coming for PS4 players. I mean, if you invert your controls, then you are the spawn of Satan. Apart from Danielle, who does invert controls, and she makes lovely stuff. And if I call her spawn of Satan, she'll just hurt me. So I don't mean her.
Wait, she uses inverted controls?
She does. Danielle uses inverted controls.
What? So ups, down, downs, up?
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure about that, Danielle. I'm not sure about that. You're not flying a plane.
I mean, that's the thing. She's got like old school flight school mechanic controls. Most people that use inverted controls are old school flies. Like my mate Martin, if James is still in the chat, plays as invert, and I think that comes from Flying Games. He was saying, but yeah, Danielle's just downs up, ups down. So whenever we play games, we have to like switch between the controls, so she can have a go and then I can have a go, kind of thing. Anyway, there's also an invert XY axis coming for PS4 players, as well as improved UI performance on non-PS4 Pro models. So other changes to put a stop to players grabbing moving obstacles during slime climb, while Jump Showdown has had its auto-panning camera fixed and sees change to the geometry to prevent an unspecified gameplay exploit. The final tongue-in-cheek fix says removed move speed nerf from Yellow Team. Don't post this one. Banter. In related news, do you know what? Actually, let's go through the related because I don't know. In related news, yesterday Mediatonic has confirmed a Fall Guys Portal 2 crossover, and it's out now. But unlike the shell skin, many were expecting, Fall Guys now has a Peabody skin on PlayStation 4 and Steam. Peabody is one of the 2 playable Android test subjects in Portal 2. Remember, Fall Guys is raising money for wonderful video game charity Special Effect via a donation for custom skin drive. Last we heard, streamer Tyler Ninja Blevins and AIM Lab were leading the pack with an incredible £420,069 combined bid. You've got to respect that as well. 420.69. Way banter. Daniel says, and what? Well, I'm getting beaten as soon as the camera goes off. Cheers. Afternoon, chaps. Tito, welcome in. Well, actually, before that, Flip Flop Friday said Gotham Knights looks good too. Sorry, late to the show. Thank you very much, Flip Flop. And it's Monday, so we'll have to change your name, Flip Flop Monday. But I mean, yeah, Flip Flop every day, Flip Flop day. Tito says, afternoon, chaps. Always favour paid content over free content. I can't remember worthwhile free content in any recent games. I have no issue paying for additional content that is worthwhile. Amen. I mean, not that I favour paid content. I prefer good content.
You're getting value for money. If it's free, it's very interesting because you don't get that much good free content. Usually it'll be an update to something, but it's not like a full-on storyline. You pay for what you get. If it's paid, chances are you're going to be getting a good chunk of worthwhile and playability.
I mean, Fall Guys is free content right now. Although it's not really because you're paying VPS Plus, but yeah. But no, I agree with the sentiment. I like free stuff, but I also like good stuff, and often the better stuff you have to pay for. It's just one of those things in life. James says, played Fall Guys, not won anything. Unlucky! 1 crown, no wins. So you got the pass crown. Yeah, that's why I've got 2. I thought, hey, fuck, I was playing a game, I got to the final level, and it just disconnected and kicked me out, and I had a crown. And I was like, hey, give me the crown for the win, give me the win, yeah! And then I realised it just came from the season pass thing anyway. So I have 2 crowns, so I got 1 win. But yeah, after that I turned it off. Tito says, exponent, no crowns, can't play the damn game. James says, yeah, Martin does. I used to do inverted, but can't do that anymore. Danielle, once again, angrily says, and what? Sorry, babe, don't hurt me. Does anyone else think Keanu Reeves looked like Professor Snape in the new Bill and Ted? I haven't seen it, so I can't remember. I mean, I have seen it. I have seen bits of it, but I'm not trying to pay that much attention to it. I don't want to kind of like have all of the spoilers before I see it because it's a film that's 20 whatever years in the making kind of thing. So I'm kind of ignoring the trailers. I have seen bits of it, and I know it includes their daughters and things like that, but I didn't pay that much attention. Just Google Pics. I'll do it after the stream. Speaking of which, that is the end of the stream. Thank you very much, everyone who has joined us this morning for all 3 installments of The Scoop. That was number 1 when we had Populi Mics, number 2 for the test, and number 3 for actually being here now recording it live for Twitch and for YouTube and the Oddcast, the audio podcast services. Oddcasts, that's what we should call it going forward. The Oddcast. Every one of our podcasts is an Oddcast, but there you go. Couple of bits of housekeeping. I mentioned at the start of the show, exclamation mark giveaway. I'm going to type it in the chat. That will give you... Oh no, chatbot is open? Why? Oh, okay, not connected. Why have you not connected? Okay. Exclamation mark. Give away. Boom. There we go. So that will give you a link to our pinned tweet. That pinned tweet allows you to win yourself a retro gaming console. If you've entered already, there are free entries each and every single day to up your chances of winning, so just go and check it out. We also have discounts for Muscle Moose. There's a code for that in the chat too. And the other one is if you're a subscriber, we announced last week that the loot drop prize will be the hat that myself and Bib are wearing. I'm wearing the baseball cap with the rounded peak. Bib is wearing a snapback flat peak. We also have a blue and white version as well in LA Dodgers inspired colours. So make sure you check out !loot drop in the chat if you want to win yourself one of these hats. You get a free entry by being a subscriber. There is no other way of entering. So if you're a subscriber, your chances of winning are pretty high. Bear in mind, it's like 1 in 16 million or whatever it is to win the Euro Millions. You've probably got like 1 in, I don't know, 30 or whatever to win one of these hats, and it doesn't cost you anything. If you're a sub, make sure you're in a Discord for a chance to get that. But anyway, before we disappear and come back with Pez, we have Masters of the League in about 10 minutes-ish. Anything you want to add to the stream, Bib?
Yes, it's a 1 in 13 chance actually for the lads and lasses that are in the loot drop Discord. There's taking us out of it. Yeah, it's a 1 in 13 chance of you actually being able to win it. Is it Tuesday the 2nd?
It's the first
Oh,
Monday.
Tuesday the 1st. Oh, first Monday.
Yeah. That's
right. Okay.
First, because we're not gonna like be drawing it on a Saturday on a Sunday, so we want it to be the first Monday of every month. So there's a guarantee.
So this is 7th of September then.
Yeah. So
7th of September.
7th of September, someone will get that, and then it'll be the 5th of October for the next loot drop, which we'll announce after this one's finished and so on. So if you're a subscriber, it's just a free extra. You don't have to do anything. If you're a sub, that's just a free extra that we're giving to you guys. So make sure you're subscribed. You need to be a sub at that point in time. So if you're a sub now, and it runs out on the 6th, then that's unlucky. You have to be a sub on that day. So if you're a sub on the 7th, then you're in for a chance to win.
Yeah. Well, we have been putting game codes that we've been given from the likes of Rogue Company into the loot drop as well. So it's literally not just a raffle for the hat. Every time we get given codes by game developers, that obviously if we get extras, then we just chuck it in there for the rest of you lot. It is first come, first serve, and I will tag all of the subscribers so they get a chance to all dip in at the same time. If you miss it, unlucky. There is still quite a lot of codes in there. I don't know whether or not they've all been used, so it's worth going in and having a look and just trying them all. If you've got consoles, you might as well try them all because there may be ones that people have got and they're just not saying that they've taken them. But yeah, go into the loot drop. If we get codes, we'll definitely be putting them in there for you lot. You look after us, so why not we look after you?
Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, we very much appreciate you all stepping by for the first episode of The Scoop. Don't forget, it is going to be a 4-day week. I don't know if we've mentioned that, have we?
No, we haven't. We haven't actually mentioned that. Good point. Bank holiday weekend, so we will not have a stream on Friday or Monday. So yeah, shorter week. So there's only 2 episodes of Master League this week. Actually, good point. Well remembered. And only 2 next week because we won't be around on the Monday either. So Friday and Monday there will be no streams, no scheduled streams. There could be ad hoc stuff. Expect drunken Bibby smashing balls down the fairway. If that's the right phrase, I don't know if that's golf. Did I golf it right or not? I don't know. He'll get his balls out a fairway. There you go. So yeah. Anyway, he timed it so I can't win it, says David. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Why? When does your sub expire? If it's the 6th, that's amazing. But yeah, first Monday of the month is what we're going for, so that it's a day that we will be in to reveal it. Because if the first day of the month is a Saturday, then we get the Sunday, and then you get the Monday before it gets revealed. So it's just a bit pants. And we have to draw it at that point in time so that we know who has a sub at that point in time. So first Monday is a day that we're in and working. So yeah, that's how it works. Precision. Cheers for the stream, gents. Much love. Much love, mate.
Yeah.
Also Precision. The Rangers coloured hat will be in that. So if you wanna, when it gets to like late on the 6th, drop a sub, then you'll have like a 1 in 14 chance or whatever. David says I've got 6 days left. Well, you miss it by best part of a week.
Well,
anyway.
1 in 12 if his expires.
So yeah, we are going to drop off. We will see you in about 10 minutes ish on the channel. If not, we will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. ish. Yes, man. So yeah, ! socials. There's the links in the chat. Baby was going to say that, but we got distracted by chatting prizes and giveaways and stuff. And when that finishes, I'll do ! Discord, so you can join our Discord. There you go, pow. That's there too. Until then, have yourselves a fantastic day. We'll see you in about 10 minutes or so if you're sticking around. If not, 10 a.m. ish tomorrow. Till then, stay
Stay frosty.